Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Living Deja Vu. So happy that you're here, and this is my first sit down, talk through video, just talking about myself, my purpose, my why, how did I end up here, the alignment there, and then why I want to grow this community, and also the mindset that I've had to cultivate to even be here right now with you. Well, I actually started this YouTube channel when I got my first camcorder in 8th grade. I think I was around 13 years old, and I was recording music videos with my brothers and my cousins younger than me, just being silly, goofy, funny. They were just music videos that were cover popular pop songs at the time. Like, we just had a blast. And that was when I realized in 8th grade that I really love this. I have a passion for it. But of course, YouTube wasn't what it is right now, and I wasn't taking it that serious. Still trying to navigate, figure out life during that time because of other aspects in life, you know, family dynamics and different things like that. So never really pursued it to its full potential that I could have when I was younger during that time. But now we're here. So I actually went to school for visual communications, which was the major, and then minored in fashion merchandising and visual communications at the University of South Carolina, USC, and might I add, the real USC, because it was the first one established, not the one in California. However, so it was in the journalism school there, and I changed my major about 3 times in school and then stuck with that because it encompassed everything that I loved. So videography, photography, graphic design, and just really being creative in those ways, visually communicating, should we say. So that's always been ingrained and a part of my journey as I look for things to study for or to really hone in on and master more of the craft. After I graduated in 2018, of course, I did not find the dream job that I was looking for, and so I somehow ended up in nonprofit, which brought me to pageants. And so this past year, I competed for Miss South Carolina USA 2024. If you are a pageant girl or you have prepared to compete for anything in life, you know how important not only the physical is, but most importantly, the mental part, the mental piece of it. And so, especially with pageants, when you are trying to sell yourself to a group of judges that don't know you and only have about maybe less than 5 minutes to get to know you in an interview space, and then on stage, showing your personality, like that is really when you have to hone in, figure out those pieces that fit, make sense, and what you want to share, so that if they were to choose you as the winner, you are going to fulfill that and be who you are presenting during those times. So basically, as you're preparing for a pageant with your mindset, you have to get to know yourself really well. They ask you questions, and of course you need to know your opinion, and you need to stand on that and know your why and your purpose. And that's really a big part of pageantry and why I love it, because of the self-development piece to it. This past year when I re-entered pageantry, because I've had success before in another platform or on another platform, and I was really trying to figure out, okay, I'm in this new space, who am I? Like, really get deep down to myself to know who I am. And I realized, because it's always been there, one, the visual communication piece that's always been ingrained since I got my first camcorder, always been there. The performance piece, being seen and being in front of others with the intent to inspire and to help them cultivate the permission to be who they want to be yourself in all aspects, and really hone in on who you are, your unique perspective and experience, and share that with the world, because no one has it, and it's so important. You're here for those reasons. I started my platform, Deja Heals, which is an affirmation spiritual platform, as I have been diving deeper into my spiritual self, what that means for me, how it aligns, and how I'm pushing forward, especially with God, the universe, spirit guides, insert your word here. I feel like it's all the same, leading me to my fullest potential. I was in the midst of really trying to figure out my why for the pageant, where I developed that affirmation platform. It has mindset shifts, affirmations, and then also journal prompts to just help those who see the page, who come there, to really get into a mindset of, I can do this, I'm meant to be here, I am important, I add and bring value to whatever I influence and touch. Whenever you feel off, because we're humans here having a human experience, whenever things feel off and you hit that low or that bottom point, just knowing that you can always return back to that part of you, because it's always there. And of course, allowing yourself to feel those emotions, to be in the midst of that and let your body release that, but then also realizing that it's a choice that you make, either to stay in those emotions and to stay in a victimhood mindset, or to move forward into taking that circumstance or situation as a lesson, learning from it, and then moving on and applying it to the next steps in your life. Deja Heals was born as an affirmation spiritual platform while also helping my own self on my journey. January 2024 is when I just had an awakening, if you will, and I think there's multiple awakenings or enlightened periods that we all go through throughout life, but the biggest one yet was January 2024. And actually December 2023 going into 2024, January, where I really figured out this is the path, the journey, and it really helped me with my mental health, the job that I was in at the time, the relationships that I was cultivating, but really the most important relationship with myself, really believing in myself, really trusting and knowing that I do bring and add value to the things that I'm here for, and releasing the anxiety, trauma, and all of the things that were pushed down on me as I've been growing up throughout life. Although like after my first pageant experience, I told myself I would never do it again. It was bad, but I was in a lower place, a lower mindset, and I needed to. All of that needed to happen how it did so that I could be the person that I am today. Pageantry has played a huge part in my self-development, in my spirituality, and just who I am as a person. If you were to ask me today, my mindset has completely changed around pageantry, what it means, and I know a lot of people have a different mindset on it's just a beauty contest, they only choose the prettiest person, it's about the money, XYZ. However, if you go into it intentionally, with a purpose and with a plan on why you're there, you can take so much more from it. And like I said, that's how I've ended up here. After I competed in Miss South Carolina USA, the opportunity presented itself for me to be able to take some time off from a 9-to-5 job or from the corporate life with my husband being that centerpiece to be able to focus full-time on content creation or just that next step, that next path for me. My last job was no longer in alignment with my values, authenticity that I wanted to share with the world, and especially through the platforms that I have developed and created. So the opportunity presented itself and I was able to leave that job. And today, I think it's about a month and a week that I have stepped down from a full-time career and focusing all my efforts, my time and energy and influence on building these platforms to cultivate a community, to inspire, to build up, and to, like I said, give that energetic permission to others who do come across my content or who do engage, that you can do the same thing and to be your full self. So now I'm here. I am an aspiring full-time content creator, and YouTube, once again, I've circled back to YouTube when I got my first camcorder in 8th grade, recorded my first videos, and realized I loved it, and it sparked so much inside of me. It's full circle moment, which I think pageantry is the golden ticket, if you will, that stepping stone to come back to this full circle. So I'm back on YouTube, but as a new version of myself, a transformed, a healed person who really wants to add value to those who come across my content. This is more of a lifestyle type of thing where I vlog, I show you the details of my life and my mindset and then what I'm going through, hoping that it can inspire others who are in the same boat or who do want to take on the same endeavors that I am. There's a point that I want to note here that I decided to start all over with everything. Not only, leaving that job, which had so much uncertainty with what are the next steps. I'm trying something new, something different that I've never had anyone in my circle and my family experience, because of course this is something new just in the span of the world and careers and lifestyles. And on my other regular platform, Deja V, which is what it was called, it was just fashion based, and I had been doing that for, it would have been 4 years. I think about 4 years going on if I would have continued to now. But I decided that no, just starting fresh, starting over. It felt like a dead account and it felt like a dead weight in terms of transformation and cutting off pieces that just don't align anymore. That platform was a part of it. And I don't know if you've ever experienced something like that, but it felt dead. It felt like the people following that platform or who were on it were following out of obligation, because they've known me for so long and just felt like they had to. I probably was muted by a couple of people in there because I was posting so much like an influencer would, but I had family members and friends from high school, from college who were following that account, but they weren't engaging. If you're familiar with the platforms and the algorithm piece that comes with it, which, is that big piece there, if you have people following you and they're not engaging on your content, it inadvertently shows the platform, it shows Instagram or whatever platform that this content doesn't resonate, and we're not going to push it out. Therefore, eyes or, you know, the potential people who could have been inspired, who wanted to follow, aren't going to be able to see it because of the people who are following you not engaging, and Instagram thinks otherwise. That's a whole nother piece, right? When we go into the algorithm and we go into what these platforms are doing on the back ends to push people out, I try not to hone in on pieces like that, because in a spiritual context, I know that what's meant for me, I will not miss out on, and I won't mess up on. It's all going to come together, and it all is. But that is something that led me to wanting to leave that account, because that's what it was. And then it also felt like the people who I was following, I've met great people on that account, by the way. It just didn't seem genuine. It wasn't authentic. And that's what I really am looking for. One of my biggest values is community. I wanted to start a new community with people who, with intention, but who were authentic, who were genuine, who wanted to engage, who come across the platform organically and say, hey, I love this, I want to follow, I'm inspired, I want to engage, and vice versa, right? Because as we know, all these platforms are a two-way street, it's not a one-way. So, and I wanted the same thing for myself. I did not want to go through my whole account, my old account, and take out people, delete people, whatever. I just wanted to start a clean slate, and it did feel so much better to just know that the people who are now following me are organic, and it's reach that has been organic, and they want to be there. And that means so much more. YouTube, this I know could be a slow burn, and it's a long game that you would be playing here, but the trade-off with that is the community, the loyalty that comes from people watching, because this is more of a long form content. So the people who are watching this are really wanting to be here and really wanting to engage, and they'll stick with you for the long haul. Because I can think of a lot of YouTubers that I follow and I have been following for the long haul, and I will sit through and watch a 45-minute video by them. And I hope, not that I hope, but I know in time that all of that is going to come together here as well. Mindset and goals. I'm currently just experimenting. I'm getting so inspired by other creators and just trying to figure out my niche and my style that I want to share with the world with my own spin on it. Because as I have always said and really realized that no one has your unique perspective or experience that influences the projects that you put out, the energy that you put out. Because there's energy behind everything that you do decide to share with people, whether that's verbally or online. There is an energy piece to it. And so I have just been taking the time, right? When you are starting fresh, you're not big, you're not well known, you're able to mess up, you're able to do something different, and if it doesn't work out, you're able to change that without without failing publicly, which I think is a big piece too that a lot of people get scared of, especially when you're putting yourself out here on these platforms. There is that aspect of the fear of being seen and the fear of being perceived by others, but that is life. And building on top of that, it really helps to build that self-confidence in who you are when you are putting yourself out there. So that's one thing that I've loved about this so far. There have been a lot of times, because it's been about 5 weeks, there have been a lot of times where my mindset has hit a low point where, and I think a lot of creators or people, entrepreneurs in general, go through where it just feels like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. There's so much uncertainty. There's so much unknown. Maybe I'm not meant to be here. Maybe I'm not meant to be in this space. Why did I do this? You know, all those limiting beliefs that tend to come back up and circle back around as you're in an entrepreneur or creative journey because of the uncertainty, because of the unknown. Really what's helped me move past that is grounding myself in my spiritual practices that help my mindset to realize and to know that trust is that big piece there. Whoever your higher power is, whatever you call him, it's that trust piece that really helps you to bring back full circle why you're here, staying aligned with your values and with your goals, and finding like-minded people who are on that same path as you to help inspire you and encourage you as you keep moving forward. And that's the big piece, to keep going, keep pushing, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. That's what I have to keep telling myself. But then also to flow with the ways of life. You just flow with it. Allow things to flow and be as they are, but also detaching from the outcome, because there's so many different possibilities and so many different ways that the desire could show up for me. And if it's not in this way that I'm doing, like trying to navigate the platforms, and maybe it's in another way, but realizing and telling myself to stay open to all of that because there's so many possibilities in the unknown. Well, friends, thank you so much for watching to the end. If you did make it to the end, I hope you are inspired. I hope you are encouraged. And if you are in the same boat as an aspiring content creator or just as an aspiring entrepreneur where there is a lot of uncertainty in the endeavor that you're taking on, just know that if you keep trust in your values at the forefront, you will not fail. And even if it takes longer than you expected, or let's just say you're redirected completely out of what you're currently pursuing, just know it's all for your highest good and it's all working out great. Here's a reminder to stay focused, stay in alignment. Aligned action towards what you're going for, keep moving forward. And if we know anything about the laws, the law of action, the law of compensation, you are going to be rewarded regardless for all the effort, all the energy that you're putting into what you're working on.